The cost of preference shares. In this module and the next, we're looking at the cost of equity. Preference shares in this module, ordinary shares in the next module. In both cases, our starting point will be the formula for the price of that security. And in order to determine the price of a security, we need to take into account the specific characteristics of the cash flows that will flow from owning that security. In the case of preference shares, they usually pay a fixed dividend, and they are valued on the basis that they will last forever. The implications of these two facts about the future dividends flowing from a preference share is that the future dividend stream constitutes a perpetuity. Therefore, in the topic on the valuation of securities, we use the formula for a perpetuity to determine the price of a preference share. It was the preference dividend divided by the required rate of return for preference shares. In this module, however, we are trying to determine the required rate of return. Therefore, we can rearrange this formula to solve for the required rate of return. So this is the formula for the cost of preference shares. CPS Limited has issued preference shares paying a dividend of $3.50. If they are currently selling for $66.67, what is the cost of the preference shares? We take the dividend of $3.50, divide by the price of the shares, $66.67, and the required return on preference shares is 5.25%. In the previous module, we talked about the after-tax cost of debt, which is different from the required rate of return for the debt holder. But since dividends are not tax deductible, the required rate of return for a shareholder will be the same as the cost of capital for the firm.